Please, son, you've got to stop. You can't keep going like this.
Wretched monsters! Give me my family back! Look, Uncle Lan! That's your father! He's standing right in front of you! Get out of my home! I'll never forgive you!
I'm fine. Please, don't hurt my son. He's just trying to protect his home. Oh, Cotlan.
Abyssal corrosion syndrome. 500 years later, and it's resurfaced again. Direct contact with high concentrations of abyssal power causes irreversible mental trauma in most people. The exact presentation will vary according to trauma level. Some will suffer from superficial hallucinations and maintain the capacity to perceive the outside world. In such cases, verbal and physical interaction can be used to break through the hallucination. However, there are also those who are so far gone, entrenched in hallucinations so deep, that medical intervention is the only option. That's why we developed the Drought of Lucidity. It's a kind of medicine that can dispel the psychological impact of the abyss. The treatment comes with severe side effects, including chronic migraines for the rest of the patient's life, so it's reserved for the worst cases. This man is a devoted warrior, one not easily swayed from battle. That is precisely why it's so difficult to pull him out of this hallucination. If you trust me to be true to my word, give him this.
Wretched monsters! Setting up an ambush! Give me your worst! It's either your end or mine! Hurry! He's awake!
Please, give him the draft. My son thinks he's alone in this world. In his mind, all his family and comrades are gone, and only enemies remain. There's nothing more painful for a warrior than losing everything you fought so hard to protect.
Monsters! What's going on? Dad? What are you doing here? My head hurts. I just had the strangest dream. I dreamt the abyss took over the tribe.
It's all right, my boy. It was just a nightmare. Let's go home. You need a good night's sleep. But first, I want to thank you for saving my son. May I ask your name?
Just Capitano is fine.
I owe you more than words can say, Mr. Capitano. My name is Mune. You're welcome in my home anytime. Time to go, son. Can you stand?
Think nothing of it. I agreed to offer you my aid, so this is merely a part of that duty. Besides, I care deeply about this land. That's right. My desire to protect this nation remains unchanged. When my platoon arrived in Natlan 500 years ago, like you, we were true outlanders. But as time passed, I encountered the people of this land and witnessed their desperate struggle against the abyss. Though many of the warriors were rash and inexperienced, They were steadfast and fearless in battle, willing to do anything to protect their fellow citizens, oftentimes with complete disregard for their own survival. Just as I fought for the glory of Khaenri'ah, they fought for the survival of their nation. We happened to share a common enemy, so I decided to offer my aid. We fought side by side to the very end. I traveled to many places after that, but I never forgot this land. Even now, my work in Natlan remains unfinished. It may seem difficult to understand, but the reason is really quite simple. That name carries with it the glory of my homeland and the honor of Natlan. Yet, I failed to bring my soldiers home, and I failed to help Natlan defeat the Abyss. You need not comfort me. I am no longer who I once was. Let the events of the past continue to collect dust in the annals of history. I will continue to help Natlan in my own way. The drought was Guthred's invention. He was a respected military doctor, as well as my trusted second-in-command. We faced a similar situation to what you witnessed today. The endless battles against the Abyss triggered delusions among the soldiers, to the point where some attempted to kill each other. In order to develop a treatment as fast as possible, Guthred used himself as a test subject. He passed away shortly after the drought was complete. That's who he was. Unrelenting in his pursuits. No matter the cost, no matter the sacrifice. In the end, he even gave himself up for a chance at success. I'm sure he would be pleased his creation aids people even now. The Abyss has wrought enough suffering on this land. I sincerely hope this war will end soon.
Stop worrying about other people's survival, about their losses and sacrifices. You just need to win. That must be why I've returned. For this moment. Please finish what you set out to do, Commander.
You're more perceptive than I imagined. However, some things are better kept secret for now. We may be working together, but our goals are not entirely aligned. I do not mean to jeopardize the trust between us. I simply prefer to keep this to myself, because it's a personal matter. All I can tell you is this. Natlan may have survived the worst of the crisis, but the souls of this land are still not at peace. And that is why my work is not yet done. If you have other questions, I'm willing to answer them.
Natlan must pay the price for Mawika's use of the Ruler of Death's power. That price is death. And only Mawika's death can clear the debt. Even now that the war's over and the threat to Natlan is gone, it looks like that death is still set in stone.
In the garden cultivated by the gods, flowers and weeds grow side by side. When the weeds compete for nutrients in the soil, the gardener intervenes to inhibit their growth. I'm not one to pass judgment based on my own standard of right and wrong. But it is an undeniable fact that she is responsible for my suffering, as well as that of my people. If that explanation is too difficult to understand, allow me to show you exactly what I mean. The ruler of death can freely define the form of death, or grant immortality to anyone she desires. Her power is a rule in and of itself. Faced with such an overwhelming level of power, it can feel hopeless to resist. But I am of the belief that, in this world, no destiny is unchangeable, no death inevitable, and no rule unbreakable. So, before the final moment truly arrives, we must fight harder than ever. This is a critical time for you, Traveler. It's best not to delay, so let us end our conversation for now. Best of luck to you all. Goodbye. Though our homeland has become a distant memory, the flames of war continue to rage. We have long shed the last of our blood. Stay strong, my soldiers. One day, I will deliver you to the place I promised.
Oh, Gramps, Archon. I swear I've been on my best behavior recently.
I am curious, though. Are you still working with the captain?
No, I don't have a reason to follow him anymore, so my life is back to normal. Growing vegetables, raising aphids. Well, maybe not completely normal. I'm still keeping tabs on the situation in the Night Kingdom. The ley lines are in a bad state.
We plan on bringing that to an end.
I know. You and Gramps, right? You're going to become great heroes, and the most I can do is weave a scroll of your deeds. Most people from my tribe know the art, but I'm not very good. I can never seem to empty my mind. We commemorate the deeds of others as a form of inspiration. But rather than waiting for someone else to be inspired, isn't it faster to just take things into your own hands?
Time will give you an answer. I know how you feel, Ororon. It took me a long time to find my place in the world. I'm more mature now, but that passion, that drive to prove myself, I miss it sometimes. Maybe you'll change in the future, but you can still be proud of who you are now.
You're saying I need to live in the present? Thank you, Archon. That's what I've always tried to do.
So full. I'm practically a blubber beast. What's that? A creature from Fontaine with a super round belly. You've never seen a picture of one? Oh, it sounds so cute! Wait, now that you mention it, I've had dreams of Auntie Atea. She was her typical self, brave and stern, always with that indescribable warmth. I've never had a dream that felt so real. Just like you said, it felt like I actually got to see her again.
So it wasn't just me. It wasn't just them. Some of the Gramps and Grannies who looked after me were there too. Growing up, I could always hear a degree of guilt in the way they spoke to me. It's why they never asked anything of me. Why they gave me so much freedom. I never wanted things to be that way. But even in my own dreams, nothing changed. They sounded exactly the same, just like real life.
The same thing happened to me. I dreamt of Ayo's grandparents. Ayo's grandparents fell to the abyss during the battle, so it's been really hard for him. He's barely been eating. I set up a tent near his home so I could be there for him. And I had a dream that his grandparents came back. I was so happy. In the dream, Ayo seemed like his normal self again. But it was only for a moment, and then I woke up. In real life, Ayo is still struggling. He barely sleeps or eats. But it's all right. I'll be there for him.
When did this become story hour? Still, I have nothing to hide. I dreamt about Koichi. She told me I felt like a completely different person. She said I'm going down the right path, so she doesn't need to pick fights with me anymore. Maybe your dreams felt real, but the Koichi I saw was nothing like her real self. She would never say anything like that to me. It was a dream. Nothing more. It's fine. I'm the one being a buzzkill.
You're kidding. The captain?
Maybe the traveler's dream is a different kind of phenomenon.
I may know the cause of the dreams. At the end of the battle, I launched a special kind of night war by using the power of the Divine Throne. Its great power allowed the Ode of Resurrection to bring back all casualties, independent of the time of victory or the possession of an ancient name. In addition, the power of the Divine Throne revitalized the souls and memories within the Night Kingdom, allowing them to take the form of their past selves. Even after the battle, that effect still lingers. That's why those you lost were able to reappear in your dreams. But I agree with Ororon. The traveler's dream is likely a different matter.
The shamans of my tribe often receive visions of the future through dreams. Is that what you're suggesting?
Yes, exactly.
It's still unclear, but Granny taught me how to interpret dreams. Would it be okay if I tried to take a look? If I can observe your soul, I can find out the key elements of the dream. You're thinking of the Dendro Archon, right? My tribe's power over dreams is nothing compared to that of an Archon. Observing the dreamscape requires a ritual and can only reveal static images. We also need the full cooperation of the dreamer. Otherwise, the process could be used to violate the privacy of others.
I also have a fairly good understanding of the ritual. What do you say, Traveler? Should we start the preparations?
Then I'll start getting ready. We'll carry out the ceremony somewhere else. I never knew you could make it this way. This formula is new to me.
Your granny never taught you about incense making?
No. She usually just lists off the ingredients and tells me to follow the formula.
Then you still have a lot to learn from her. All right, we're ready, Traveler. Once you head inside, you'll fall into a brief sleep. Ororon will interpret the dreamscape, but you won't feel a thing.
That's right. Everything's all set. This is...
Here, have some water. It'll help to clear your head. It was enough. What did you learn, Ororon?
The person next to the captain. I've seen him before. He was the one who tried to possess me back at the ruin. So you know that name too? I see. After the battle, I returned to my tribe and began searching through our records of the catastrophe 500 years ago. Even though my encounter with him was brief, I managed to track down some information. The record said he was cold and decisive. Like the captain, he was formidable in battle, but the two upheld very different ideas of justice.
That makes sense. The best partners are those who complement each other. Yes, but unless he brings up his past, few are likely to make the connection between a Fatui harbinger and Thrain, one of Natlan's legendary heroes.
Guthred is also a respected figure in our nation. The story of how he sacrificed himself for Natlan is a pretty famous tribal legend. But there's still something I don't understand. I'm the only one who saw him. You shouldn't be able to dream of someone you've never met. And yet, the figure in your dream looked exactly like him.
I don't think that's a coincidence. I believe what the Traveler saw was Guthred's soul.
But didn't he die hundreds of years ago? There's no way his soul could have survived that long.
No. The Night Kingdom only accepts the souls of Natlan. It's always been that way. The Ruler of Death likely wanted to prevent the Ode of Resurrection from being abused.
When I was with the captain, I could hear something coming from him, souls that were not his own. I heard voices of sorrow and pain, sometimes faint, sometimes strong. That's the part I don't understand. Ordinary people shouldn't be able to carry the souls of others. It's only possible for me because my situation is unique. And even then, you saw what happened. The Lord of the Night's voice triggers a violent reaction in those with fragmented souls. I even checked his soul myself. It's resilient, radiant, and entirely in one piece. It's still too early to tell, but the continued existence of Guthred's soul is likely the key to figuring out the captain's true intentions.
I agree.
He rarely talked about himself. We were united in our efforts to save Natlan, but it never went beyond that.
Let's come back to this later. One final step, and we save Natlan for good. That must be our focus. I'll tell the officials at the speaker's chamber to monitor the captain. Nevertheless, I doubt his goal will interfere with our plan. In any case, conjecture will only get us so far. It might be more useful for you to ask the captain directly, Ororon. With any luck, he might just tell you the truth.
Huh? Me?
Don't tell me you haven't noticed his respect for you. The first of the Fatui Harbingers doesn't work with just anyone. Fortune favors the bold. So if you ask me, posing the question directly is the wiser choice.
I'm not so sure, but I'll give it a try.
All right, let's head back and enjoy the party.
Time for me to head back too. Oh, wait. I should stop by Aoife's place first. I need to make sure he's taking care of my radishes.
Ever since the invasion of the Abyss and the decline of the ley lines, the Ode of Resurrection has protected us for thousands of years. For generations, we have lived on this land, following in the footsteps of our forebears, taking their place on the front lines. We all carry that struggle with us, and now, thanks to your efforts, the end is in sight. We have a chance to defeat the Abyss once and for all. This glory is one we share. It belongs to all of Natlan!
For Natlan!
For Natlan!
Our suffering will not soon be forgotten. But there will come a day when we can proudly declare to our progeny that this war is won! For our fallen heroes, our lifelong comrades, and all who forge the path ahead through trial and tribulation. For our homeland, we will cling—
No one fights
to battle!
A revelation came to me in a dream, and I shared it with my tribe. You are the star that will shine through the mist. The spirits bless your journey.
From this day forward, plants will sprout because of you, insects will take flight after you, and all will turn to your will. I disagree. The land of Natlan nurtures life, but the Abyss knows only destruction.
Natlan is also a land of memories and legends. I live longer than humans, and in all that time, I've learned what life and death mean to people. The dead draw solace from the living, and the living push forward in honor of the dead. In life and death, we all leave marks on this world. We cannot let them be reduced to nothing. Yes, thank you for joining this fight. I'll wait for your safe return.
That was amazing. Judging by your clothes, you're not from Natlan, are you?
I've never seen a soul like you in the Night Kingdom.
Yes. Although, rather than a soul, it would be more accurate to say that I'm a story created by the people of Natlan. I was his most trusted second-in-command. 500 years ago, we fought against the Abyss together, and I sacrificed myself during battle. The shamans of the Masters of the Night Wind recorded my story on a woven scroll. Even now, many in Natlan know my name.
So you're him, but also not him?
That's right. What you see is the me from the story. I was remembered as a glorious hero, even though the truth is quite the opposite. It was in fragmented memories of my life
that I finally began to understand the real me. Unlike my righteous and noble commander, I was obsessive and cruel, an approach I believe to be more efficient. Our differences caused many an arguments between us.
You tried to sacrifice someone.
I will stop at nothing to protect my commander's interests. The most idealistic and righteous among us are the most fragile, so I must protect his edge. A strong hand is required to stand against a strong foe. That is what the glory of Conria means to me. I do. I have my reasons, as do all who believe in something. You will understand that soon enough. Due to the limitations of the ley lines, we can go no further. The enemy's lair is close at hand.
But don't worry. All the souls of the Night Kingdom will lend you their aid.
You will become the hero of a new era!
Go now, for Natlan, and for all who lost their lives to the Abyss. This time, we shall prevail, not for any single nation or faction, but for us all.
Listen.
Did they lose? No, it can't be. We are the inheritors of memory and legend. Those who grew alongside sun and wind.
Those who forged our own destiny and future. That is Natlan's fire, the lifeblood of our nation.
We won't give up hope. This is where we forge our future. With our own 2 hands! There's a faster way.
have grown weary of the endless wait. The fate of this land is of no interest to me anymore. However, you humans managed to meet the expectations of the heavenly principles. For that result, you deserve praise. Moika, as the price for using my power, I shall now bear witness to your death. And with you, the war that your nation has waged for more than 1,000 years shall meet its end.
Mawika!
You got here sooner than I expected. Closing the final chapter on the plan that has consumed Natlan for 500... No. For the entirety of our history. We've eradicated the Abyss from Natlan. But its power remains in worlds beyond Tevat. Tremendous and unyielding. Only by completely restoring the Night Kingdom can we defend against its corrosion in the long run. But the architect of the Night Kingdom is near her end. She lacks the power for such a task. And worse still, if her life force is depleted, the rules of Natlan disappear along with her. We have no need for the Ode of Resurrection right now. But it remains Natlan's strongest defense should the Abyss return one day.
So, you're planning to...
Yes. My plan is to once again place my life within the sacred flame. 500 years ago, I gave my life for the chance to be reborn in this era. A chance to see all my plans to completion. And now, to sustain the Lord of the Night, I will give my life once more.
I respect your decision, Mallko. But this method requires an immense sacrifice. The flames of your life force are exceedingly strong. But a life sustained by fire is one destined to die out one day. What will you do then?
I've thought about that. With the Abyss out of the picture for now, the Sacred Flame's power will be consumed at a much slower rate. My life force should be able to sustain it for another 200 or 300 years. Future Pyro-Archons will continue to seek new sources of fire. As long as Natlan's legacy endures, the Night Kingdom will survive, impervious to the Abyss.
Once again, you place hope in the hands of the future.
But the pilgrimage can replenish the power of the sacred flame. We can give it that meaning. Why shoulder this burden by yourself?
Because I want the pilgrimage to change. The pilgrimage was an essential part of our struggle against the Abyss, a grand competition full of promise and glory. But it also chained our people to an inescapable destiny. Fear and anxiety have been our constant companions. We knew what the consequences would be if we laid down our arms. Morality left us with no other choice. And so, Natlan became the nation of war. This is where Xbalanque defeated the dragons and granted our people the liberation of their flesh. And now, in the same place, I have the chance to grant them the liberation of their spirit. There will be no war, only competition, one fueled by our dreams for the future rather than a desperate struggle for survival. A new future deserves a new meaning, a chance to take a definitive step forward.
Very noble indeed. But what does any of this have to do with you? You speak of duty, but not yourself. In my eyes, Mallko, you are not inherently special. A child of Natlan among countless others. Yes, the situation is urgent, and the ley lines must be restored right away. But it is too heavy a burden for you to shoulder alone.
That is where we differ, Lord of the Night. You see all humans as the same, but I understand what it means to be a leader. A leader is swift, and decisive in the face of reality. Someone capable of making the right choice even when there are no good options on the table. Sacrificing the remainder of my life to help Natlan overcome this crisis. That is the right choice. After all, leadership is built on the trust of ordinary people. Without them, there is no Archon. The people look to their leader to make the world a better place and stand up for them when it counts. For that reason, I must see my duty through to the very end.
But what about you, Mallko? You still haven't talked about what you want. Is it that unimportant to you?
It's not important, Citlali. There is nothing more important than protecting the future we built together.
I shall accept Mallko's sacrifice for the Lord of the Night as her death, and I will bear witness to the very end. Thus concludes the deal I made with Citlali several thousand years ago. Lord of the Night, you may now begin. What are you waiting for?
There is another who wishes to take part in the ceremony. And I cannot disregard their intentions. I must wait for them to arrive.
Another?
I was to bear witness to a death, and now the situation is increasingly tenuous.
If the life of this second individual fails to meet my requirements, I fear I may lose my patience.
Rest assured, his life will hold equal value. I am the helper of humanity, and I must always place their demands first, no matter who the human may be.
Cumbersome. But there is nothing to be done. Such is the duty of an angel.
Wait, this feeling.
We made it.
Thank you for showing me the way.
The other individual you mentioned. It was him?
Indeed. Like you, he carries many lofty ideals.
Mallko, I understand how you feel, and if I were an ordinary mortal, I would have no reason to stop you. But like you, I've been waiting for this day for too long, and I can offer a better solution. You created this new future, and you deserve to guide its direction. Your life should not end here. But death is the end I have been trying to reach all along. I have come this far to use my death to open the gates of the ley lines to my people. That's right. They have been with me for the past 500 years.
But how? Carrying that many souls within you? There's no way you could keep your consciousness intact. Besides, you weren't affected by the source mechanism like I was.
Do you still remember the voice that you heard? It came from my heart. With the help of technology from Conria, my heart was modified to convert memories and souls from the ley lines into knowledge. As a result, I became extremely sensitive to souls, and developed the ability to sense their presence, much like yourself. After encountering countless lost souls during the disaster 500 years ago, I forsook the capacity for knowledge granted by the modification, and used my heart as a vessel instead. The lives of my comrades, as well as many Natlanese, have been stored here ever since.
And you want to send them home?
Yes. The ley lines will not accept them. But by merging my existence with the Lord of the Night, I can become master of the ley lines and change the rules entirely.
He expressed this to me, and I agreed. The Captain envisions a kinder and fairer set of rules for humanity. In addition, he aims to challenge the authority of the ruler of death. In a word, his goal is revenge.
After all, it's because of her that I bear the curse of immortality, the curse of absolute life.
I now understand that which you seek.
Then, bear witness to my resolve and hatred. The people of Khaenri'ah committed grave sins, and for that, we were cursed to suffer endless physical torment, cursed to witness the demise of everything we held dear. But most of us were innocent. Most of us knew nothing of the Five Sinners' exploitation of abyssal power, myself included. If I sacrifice my life for the Lord of the Night, you get the death you desire. But at the same time, the curse of immortality would negate the very death you seek. Left unresolved, that paradox could uproot the natural order of this world. Even you, great ruler of death, lack the capacity to bear the consequences of that outcome. Your curse is now the tool with which I will overturn the oppression of the gods. This is my challenge to you. Forsake one of your rules. The choice is yours.
Your new heart has limitless potential, and you have wielded it with bravery and honor. I grant you the title of Sentinel Knight. Like the four pillars of strength, you will continue to safeguard the glory of Khaenri'ah.
The glory of Khaenri'ah.
Our land, our dignity, and every comrade who fights alongside us.
The Night Kingdom is almost destroyed. Our fallen soldiers, your comrades, they have nowhere to go. Huh? What are you doing? Are you taking all their souls with you? You're just an ordinary person. You can't bear that kind of burden.
No hero should have to wander alone.
The curse of immortality. Using immortality to fight death. Using my rules against me.
Make your choice. Reject your rules. Or allow me to trigger the paradox.
The curse of immortality must stand. Use it to fulfill your final wish.
Well fought, my lord. Thank you for everything.
This time, let's go together.
Yes. Let's go together.
The curse of immortality still exists. Does that mean the captain will never move from this place?
Lord of the Night, is the captain still with us?
There is no need to pursue traces of him. For those cursed with immortality, Release from the mortal coil is the greatest form of peace.
Even so, please pass on my gratitude. His long journey has finally come to a close. I suppose this is a happy ending for him. I cannot imagine how much pain he endured over the past 500 years, or how much strength it took to never stray from his goal.
There's something I've been trying to figure out. I don't think I ever saw him sleep. I tried to ask him about it on the way here, but he didn't answer. Just like always, he never talks about himself.
It's probably due to the voices. When souls merge in a single being, their voices echo endlessly through the mind. Souls that retain memories of their death often scream and wail in despair. Considering the number of souls inside him, that effect would be even greater.
Without experiencing the curse of immortality, we will never truly know his agony. But I can see why his hatred for the ruler of death was so strong. In the end, he used that immortality to his advantage, and granted the Lord of the Night eternal life by fusing his existence with hers. Well fought, Captain.
You may wonder why the Night Kingdom, a land of souls, was unable to accept the souls adrift on the surface. The reason lies in the heavenly principle's modifications to the ley lines. The original purpose was to help counter the abyss, and so their stability was paramount. But at one point in time, Natlan's ley lines were decimated. Even after reconstruction, the rules needed for the Ode of Resurrection made it impossible to reconnect the ley lines to other nations. That unique quality is precisely what drew the captain to Natlan.
Did he try the same thing in other nations?
Yes, but all those attempts ended in failure. He fought to save Natlan not only to defeat the abyss, but because this is the only land where the souls within him could find salvation. We met not long ago to talk about that very possibility, and I confirmed the feasibility of his plan. I, too, recognized the need to change the rules of the ley lines, not only for the souls that wander this land, but for the outlanders that may perish here in the future. In the eyes of the heavenly principles, that kind of change is extremely risky, if not impermissible. But, as an angel, I have a duty to serve humanity. Such is my mandate.
Thank you for everything.
Citlali, when I gave you the Pilgrim's Chronicle, I said something rather pessimistic to you. Do you remember? How many years of life are enough? 10? 100? I thought it made no difference. But now, I have the chance to live forever. I am immensely grateful to humanity for this gift, and I am deeply sorry I thought so little of it in the past.
You don't need to thank us. You bear a heavy responsibility.
Heavy? No. That responsibility is the purpose of my existence. Farewell, humans. Creators of miracles. A new era awaits you.
Looks like she returned to the Night Kingdom.
So, this was the captain's goal all along. He fought to the end for all those souls and challenged the rules of the world in the process.
He was an outstanding warrior. He took on a burden that was meant for me and even brought about a better outcome. It would seem I lost this duel. He was right. Natlan needs a leader to guide its future. If not a successor, then that responsibility will continue to be mine to bear. But for now, let us pay our final respects to this fallen hero. We are gathered here today to bid farewell to all who lost their lives in this war. This struggle has caused us profound pain and brought us face to face with loneliness and loss. But through it all, our bravery and resolve never wavered, and we never lost sight of victory. Even the tiniest of sparks can unite to become a blazing fire. They lit our way forward and showed us the path to victory. When our homeland is revived and life blooms again, they will return to us with the first rain of spring. It is just as our poem describes. We are the inheritors of memory and legend. Those who grew alongside sun and wind. Those who forged our own destiny and future. That is Natlan's fire, the lifeblood of our nation. The fallen are never truly lost to us. We will be reunited one day. And as we create new legends and write new poems in honor of our beloved homeland, they will always be with us. Their deeds immortalized in our memory, and their names immortalized in stone. This epic will be remembered in the actions of every valiant warrior and brave Saurian, all equally important and indispensable. I would also like to take the time to recognize a Fatui harbinger, who sacrificed his life for our cause. He was a warrior from Conria, who helped defend our nation 500 years ago, a man who used his own heart as refuge for the souls of the fallen. For the chance to offer them a final resting place, he chose to fight with us once again. In the end, he fulfilled his wish and returned the souls to the ley lines. By turning his curse into a weapon, he defeated his fated foe and protected me in the process. We have had our differences in the past, and I cannot say his character is representative of all in his organization. But on this occasion, we honor him as one of our own. In Natlan, all heroes are worthy of celebration.
My lord, you will forever serve as an example for all your soldiers.
When Guthred's soul possessed my body, all I saw was a dark abyss. The captain carried countless souls within him. It must have taken so much strength to live like that for hundreds of years. For us, his death is something sad, but for him, maybe it finally allowed him to be at peace.
Our hero's here. Is there something you want to discuss? The long journey of the Pyro Archon has now come to an end. Together, We overcame darkness and death to accomplish something truly remarkable. As we celebrate your glory, allow me to thank you once again. This time, just as Mawika. Thank you for the respect, understanding, and support every step of the way. An honor we share. You can keep chatting with your friends nearby. I think I'll stay here for now and watch over them.